Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mark, a doctor who has spent over 3 decades treating the health challenges of aging, including one condition that many of you have likely heard of or may even be living with in silence every single day: arthritis. I want to start today's conversation with a simple question. Have you ever woken up one morning with stiff hands, aching knees, and each step feeling as heavy as if you were carrying an extra 20 pounds on your back? Have you ever looked at your legs, the same legs that once carried you through so many miles of life, and wondered, why is climbing just a few steps now so difficult? One of my patients, Linda, 63 years old, once told me this. She said, "Doctor, I used to love walking. Every morning I would stroll around the lake near my house. But now, after just a few hundred meters, my knees burn like someone's cutting through my muscles." She said it with a smile, but in her eyes I saw sadness. The sadness of a body no longer obeying the way it used to. Do you see yourself somewhere in this story? In over 30 years of practice, I've met thousands of people like Linda. People who were once strong, who worked tirelessly, and then one day arthritis arrived like an uninvited guest. Quiet, but leaving behind pain, sleepless nights, and heavy steps. I remember a man named George, 58 years old, who came to see me. A former soldier, still with a strong frame, but his hands were swollen and red from rheumatoid arthritis. He said to me, "Doctor, I used to drive thousands of miles and now it hurts just to hold a cup of coffee." When I heard those words, I didn't just hear about physical pain. I heard the pain of losing independence, the pain of life changing in ways no one prepares you for. And maybe that's what I want to share with you today. Arthritis is not just a disease. It's a reminder that our bodies have limits. But at the same time, it's an invitation to care for ourselves in ways we might have ignored when we were younger. Many people ask me, "Dr. Mark, can arthritis be completely cured?" I usually answer, not always. But we can slow it down, relieve the pain, and live well with it if we know how. Science has come a long way. We have medications, therapies, surgeries when needed. But above all, we have knowledge. And knowledge is the key to controlling the disease instead of letting it control us. I want you to imagine this: waking up one morning, stepping out of bed without hearing the creaking in your knees, without the dull ache in your hands. You can walk in the park, tend your garden, pick up your grandchild without fear of pain. That's not a dream. It can be real if we start today with smart choices in food, exercise, and self-care. And that's why I made this video. I don't just want to give you dry medical facts. I want to tell you the stories of my patients and my own experiences, so together we can find ways to live healthier, freer, and happier lives, even as age and illness knock at our door. In the next few minutes, we'll explore: what exactly is arthritis? Why does it happen? And most importantly, what can we do to prevent it and lessen its impact? So grab a warm cup of tea and let's start this journey together. I promise it will feel like a friendly chat, not a dry lecture in a classroom. First, let's distinguish arthritis from other joint diseases, their symptoms and treatments. My dear friends, before we talk about prevention or treatment, I want us to take a moment to truly understand our enemy. Because like in any battle to win, we must first know who we're fighting. Many patients come to me with just one complaint: "Doctor, my joints hurt so much." But when we run tests and examine carefully, we often find that behind those two simple words, joint pain, is a whole world of complexity with different types of diseases. And each one requires a different approach. Let me tell you about the 3 most common types. 1. Osteoarthritis, the disease of time. The first is osteoarthritis, or degenerative joint disease. I believe many of you have heard of this one. Imagine our joints as doors. When we're young, the door opens and closes hundreds of times a day, smooth and silent. But over time, the hinges wear out, the oil dries up, and one day the door begins to squeak. Our joints are the same. When the cartilage, the cushion that lets the bone ends glide smoothly, wears down with age, the bones rub directly against each other, causing pain and stiffness. One of my patients, Charles, 70 years old, once said, "Doctor, I was never afraid of aging until my knees started cracking every time I stood up." Osteoarthritis develops slowly, silently. At first, it's just mild discomfort. Then one day you realize you can't run and play with your grandkids like before. 2. Rheumatoid arthritis, when the body attacks itself. The second type, rheumatoid arthritis, is a completely different story. This is an autoimmune disease, meaning our immune system, for some reason, turns against our own joints. I once treated a 55-year-old elementary school teacher named Margaret. Her hands were swollen, deformed so much that even holding a marker to write on the board became difficult. When she learned the cause was rheumatoid arthritis, she cried. Not just from pain, but from fear of losing the career she loved. Unlike osteoarthritis from aging, rheumatoid arthritis can appear as early as age 30-50. It causes swelling, pain, and stiffness, especially in the morning. Without timely treatment, it can permanently destroy the joints. 3. Gout, the troublemaker from diet. Finally, there's gout. This type of arthritis comes from uric acid buildup in the blood. When levels get too high, uric acid crystals form and settle in the joints, triggering sudden severe pain attacks. I still remember a 60-year-old driver named Robert coming into my clinic with a swollen red foot. He said, "Doctor, I've never felt pain like this in my life. It's like someone clamped my toe with pliers all night." Gout attacks often start at the big toe and can be so painful that even the touch of a bedsheet makes patients wince. Distinguishing symptoms. Listening to your body. So how do we tell them apart? If you have joint pain, stiffness and crackling sounds with movement, especially in older adults, it's likely osteoarthritis. If you have swelling pain and morning stiffness lasting over an hour, think rheumatoid arthritis. If you have sudden intense pain with red-hot joints, it may be gout. Of course, the final diagnosis must come from a doctor with proper tests and imaging. Treatment, modern medicine, and healthy lifestyle. In the past 30 years, I've seen how far medicine has advanced. We have painkillers, anti-inflammatories, biologic drugs for rheumatoid arthritis to control symptoms and prevent damage. Physical therapy improves mobility and reduces pain. Joint replacement surgery is the last option for severely damaged joints. But one thing I always remind patients, medication is just one part. Diet, exercise, and lifestyle are the foundation for long-term disease control. A study from the U.S. National Institutes of Health showed losing 5 to 10% of body weight in overweight patients significantly reduces knee pressure, easing pain, and improving quality of life. And that's why in the next part we'll talk about preventing arthritis and the top 5 superfoods for healthy joints, so aging doesn't have to mean living with pain. Are you ready? Let's begin right now. Second, preventing arthritis, top 5 superfoods for healthy joints. My dear friends, we've just gone through real stories about arthritis, a condition that not only takes away our ease of movement, but sometimes steals our joy in life. But here, we won't stop at fear. Together, we'll find ways to protect and prevent so our joints stay healthy and aging becomes lighter, freer. You see, arthritis doesn't appear overnight. It's like an uninvited guest knocking little by little, and if we prepare well, we can reduce the risk or slow its progress on our bodies. Lifestyle, the foundation of healthy joints. Before we talk about food, let's look at daily lifestyle habits. Maintain a healthy weight. Research shows losing just 5 to 10% of body weight can significantly reduce pressure on knees and hips. Every pound lost takes dozens of pounds of pressure off your joints with each step. Gentle exercise. Walking, swimming, yoga, cycling all help keep joints flexible and strengthen muscles to support them better. Avoid overloading joints. Don't carry heavy loads beyond your capacity and don't sit too long in one place. Joints like movement, but they don't like overload. One of my patients, Henry, 62 years old, was overweight and had such painful knees that even climbing stairs was a struggle. He committed to losing weight and walking 20 minutes every morning. After 6 months, he lost nearly 22 pounds and told us, "Walking with my grandkids is no longer torture. I feel like I'm 10 years younger." That's the power of small but consistent changes. Food, the silent companion for joint health. Alongside lifestyle, diet plays an essential role. Some foods act like natural shields for joints, reducing inflammation, nourishing cartilage, and strengthening overall health. Today, we'll explore the top 5 superfoods scientifically proven to benefit joints and mobility. 1. Fatty fish rich in omega-3. The inflammation fighters, salmon, mackerel, sardines, tuna, all contain omega-3 fatty acids with powerful anti-inflammatory effects. A Harvard Medical School study showed people who ate fish at least twice a week had significantly lower inflammation levels compared to those who ate less. Omega-3 helps reduce morning stiffness and improves mobility in people with rheumatoid arthritis. Imagine each bite of grilled salmon, not only delicious, but also a natural medicine for your joints. 2. Dark leafy greens, a source of vitamins and minerals, spinach, kale, broccoli. These vegetables are packed with vitamin K, vitamin C, calcium, and antioxidants. Vitamin K is crucial for bone health, while vitamin C helps your body produce collagen, the building block of cartilage. Add a green salad every day or a light vegetable soup. It's simple but deeply nourishing for your joints. 3. Berries, nature's little gems. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. They're loaded with anthocyanins, natural anti-inflammatory compounds, plus vitamin C. One of my patients joked, "Since the doctor told me to eat blueberries every morning, I feel like I'm having magic medicine for my joints." These tiny fruits pack a punch, reducing inflammation, protecting cartilage, and even benefiting heart health. 4. Nuts and seeds, small treasures for health. Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds provide plant-based omega-3 and vitamin E, two nutrients that protect joint membranes, reduce inflammation, and fight oxidative damage. Sprinkle some on salads, mix into yogurt, or just snack on them in the afternoon. Tasty, joint-friendly, and heart-healthy too. 5. Green tea, the healthy aging friend. On quiet mornings, a cup of warm green tea not only soothes the soul, but also offers many benefits for joints. Green tea contains polyphenols, especially EGCG, an antioxidant that reduces inflammation and protects cartilage. Studies show drinking green tea regularly may slow joint degeneration in older adults. You see, preventing arthritis isn't just about medicine or clinic visits. It starts with small choices in every meal, every habit, every day. We can't turn back time, but we can make aging easier by caring for our bodies starting today. And in the next part, we'll dive deeper into each superfood to understand why they're so valuable for our joints. Food number 1, fatty fish rich in omega-3, the golden friend for your joints. My dear friends, among all the foods good for your joints, fatty fish rich in omega-3 is probably the one mentioned most often, and it truly deserves that reputation. Let's imagine in every human body, there are always inflammatory reactions. It's the natural way our body responds to injury or infection. But with arthritis, this inflammation is like a slow-burning fire, destroying cartilage day by day, causing pain and stiffness. And omega-3 is the cool water that helps put out that fire. The story of Frank, the man who regained his steps. I remember a patient named Frank, 65 years old, a lifelong carpenter. Years of work had severely damaged his knees. When he first came to us, he struggled to walk, and some nights he couldn't sleep from the pain. Along with medication, I advised him to change his diet. Add salmon and mackerel to his dinners. Reduce red meat and deep-fried foods. Sprinkle some ground flax seeds onto his salads. At first, he was skeptical. "Doctor, can eating just these fish really help?" he asked. But after 3 months at his checkup, he smiled brightly and said, "Doctor, my legs feel so much lighter now. Morning walks are no longer torture. I still take my medicine, but I believe my diet has helped me a lot." And indeed, science has proven omega-3 can reduce inflammatory markers in the blood, easing pain and improving joint function. What does science say about omega-3 and arthritis? Many large studies, including one published in Annals of the Rheumatic Diseases, found that rheumatoid arthritis patients who supplemented with omega-3 from fatty fish had fewer swollen joints and less pain compared to those who didn't. Omega-3 works by reducing the production of inflammatory molecules like cytokines and prostaglandins, protecting the cell membranes of joint cartilage from damage, improving blood circulation to better nourish joint tissues. The good news is we don't need massive doses. Just eating fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week can bring noticeable benefits to joint health. Which fish are best? Not all fish are equal. Some of the richest sources of omega-3 include salmon, packed with omega-3 and vitamin D, great for bones and joints. Mackerel, small, but loaded with omega-3. Sardines, affordable, easy to cook, and high in calcium from their tiny bones. Herring, common in Mediterranean dishes. For those who don't like fish, fish oil supplements or plant-based sources like flax seeds and chia seeds are also great options. Cooking methods to preserve nutrition. One important point we often overlook: cooking methods matter. Steam, bake, or stew gently preserves omega-3 and reduces unhealthy fats. Limit deep frying. High heat and excess oil can destroy some healthy fats. I once had a patient named Susan, 59, who loved crispy fried fish. When I suggested switching to baked fish with lemon and herbs, she tried it and said, "Doctor, this tastes amazing, and it doesn't feel heavy like fried fish. I feel so much better after eating it." Small changes like this are the key to long-term health. Questions for all of us today. Ask yourself, When was the last time you had a meal with grilled fish? This week, can we add at least 2 servings of fatty fish to our family's menu? We don't have to change everything overnight. Health comes from small, consistent habits repeated every day. A cup of tea and a new decision. I often tell my patients, start simple. A dinner with grilled salmon, some leafy greens, and a cup of green tea after the meal. It's not just food, it's a promise to your health. We can't control aging, but we can control what we eat. And each choice moves us closer to a future with less pain and more freedom. In the next part, we'll talk about food for 2 dark leafy greens, the familiar vegetables hiding powerful nutrients for your joints. Stay with us because this is a tip many of our patients have used and seen real results. Food number 2, dark leafy greens. The green shield for strong, healthy joints. My dear friends, after talking about fatty fish, the golden friend for your joints, let's move on to the delicate green leaves that carry an incredible power to protect your joints, dark leafy greens. You've probably heard advice like, eat more vegetables for better health. But have we ever stopped to ask ourselves, why exactly are dark leafy greens so good for our joints and bodies? Mary's story and the secret from the salad bowl. I remember Mary, 61, a retired teacher. She came to us with years of nagging knee pain. She could still walk, but stairs were a daily struggle. When I suggested adding more leafy greens to her meals, she laughed. Doctor, I eat vegetables all the time. But honestly, they're usually stir-fried for flavor. I guided her to try spinach, kale, and broccoli salads with almonds and a light lemon dressing. 3 months later, she returned smiling. Doctor, I'm not sure if it's the greens or the fact that I walk more now, but climbing stairs doesn't hurt like before. The truth is both factors, better nutrition and consistent movement, work together to bring remarkable changes to her joint health. The science behind the greens. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, broccoli, and bok choy are real nutritional treasures. They contain vitamin K, strengthens bones and lowers the risk of fractures and arthritis. Vitamin C, essential for collagen production, the glue that keeps joints flexible. Calcium and magnesium, key minerals for strong bones and relaxed muscles. Antioxidants protect joints from inflammatory damage. A study in arthritis research and therapy showed people who ate more vitamin K-rich greens had a lower risk of arthritis than those who ate less. This means every salad bowl, every soup with greens we eat today is an investment for a less painful tomorrow. Are we eating enough greens, I want to ask you? How many of our meals this past week were truly filled with green leaves? Do we sometimes treat vegetables as a side dish instead of the main star? Many of our patients admit, doctor, we eat vegetables, but not much meat always takes center stage. But the truth is, leafy greens shouldn't be the side act. They deserve the spotlight, especially when joint health is a top priority. Simple ways to add greens to your meals. Eating greens doesn't have to be boring or complicated. We can try spinach salad with olive oil and lemon, a refreshing choice for a light lunch. Steamed broccoli with a sprinkle of walnuts, tasty and crunchy. Green smoothies with apples or bananas, easy to drink, packed with vitamins. Bok choy soup with mushrooms, simple yet nourishing for bones and joints. One patient, David, once told me, I used to think eating vegetables was torture. Now I realize they can be delicious and exciting. A message for us today. You see, aging may weaken our joints, but every green meal lays another brick in the fortress of health. Imagine 10 or 20 years from now, still walking in the park, carrying grandchildren, tending a small garden. All of it begins with the greens we choose to eat today. Small but mighty, I often tell my patients, never underestimate the small things. A bowl of leafy greens each day can do more than expensive medications. We don't need to change everything overnight. Just add a little more green today, then a bit more tomorrow. It's a gentle, steady journey toward a healthier, stronger future. In the next part, we'll discover food, Luanka 3 berries, the precious pearls of nature with amazing anti-inflammatory powers, not only for our joints, but also for our hearts and skin. Stay with us because the next story will be truly exciting. Food number 3, berries, nature's little gems for healthy joints. My dear friends, after talking about fatty fish rich in omega-3 and dark leafy greens, let's now turn to a group of foods that are beautiful, delicious, and packed with incredible health benefits, berries. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. They're tiny like jewels shining with natural colors, yet the nutritional power they carry is anything but small. Anna's story and the bowl of blueberries every morning. I remember Anna, 58, who had suffered from knee arthritis for many years. She loved nature and gardening, but pain had forced her to give up her morning walks in her backyard. When I suggested she add berries, especially blueberries, to her diet, she was surprised. "Doctor, aren't berries just sweet treats? How do they have anything to do with arthritis?" 3 months later, she returned with a big smile. "Every morning I eat a bowl of fresh blueberries. I can't say for sure it's all because of the berries, but my knees are less swollen and walking hurts a lot less now." Science actually proves that berries contain a powerful antioxidant called anthocyanins, compounds that reduce inflammation and protect joint tissues. The science behind berries. Many studies, including one in the Journal of Nutrition, have shown that people who eat more berries have lower inflammation levels and fewer joint problems than those who eat less. The secret lies in their nutrients. Anthocyanins reduce inflammatory markers in the blood and protect cartilage. Vitamin C, essential for collagen production to keep joints flexible. Natural fiber supports digestion and helps with weight control, crucial for reducing joint stress. Interestingly, the darker the berry, the higher its anthocyanin content. That's why blueberries and black raspberries are often called superfoods for joint health. Are we eating enough berries, I want to ask you? In the past week, have we eaten a bowl of fresh blueberries or strawberries? Or do we mostly stick to apples, bananas, oranges, rarely adding these small but mighty fruits? Many of our patients admit, "Dr. Berries taste great, but I never thought they were that important for health." The truth is, a small bowl of blueberries each day can offer benefits bigger than many expensive supplements if we stay consistent and combine it with a healthy lifestyle. Simple ways to add berries to your diet. It doesn't have to be complicated. Berries can be part of our meals in many ways. Breakfast, a bowl of Greek yogurt with blueberries and some walnuts. Afternoon snack, a cold strawberry banana smoothie with little sugar. Dessert, a fruit salad with strawberries, oranges, and almonds. One patient, Robert, told me I replaced my afternoon pastries with a bowl of raspberries. At first I missed the sweets, but now I'm hooked on the tangy sweet taste of these little fruits. Not just for joints, but for the heart too. Berries don't just help joints, they also lower the risk of heart disease and diabetes, two conditions often linked with aging. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows women who ate at least 3 servings of berries a week had a 32% lower risk of heart attacks compared to those who ate less. So with just one bowl of berries, we're caring not only for our joints, but also for our hearts. A moment to reflect. I want you to imagine this: a beautiful morning, sitting on the porch with a bowl of fresh blueberries, taking a deep breath of clean air, and knowing that every bite you take is building a future with less pain in your later years. We can't control everything in life, but we can control the foods we eat, and that's a powerful gift. In the next part, we'll talk about food number 4, nuts and seeds. Tiny foods that carry a treasure chest of nutrition for our joints and overall health. Stay with us because the next story will be full of surprises and valuable insights. Food number 4, nuts and seeds. A nutritional treasure for healthy joints and aging well. My dear friends, we've talked about fatty fish, leafy greens, and colorful berries. Now let's move on to a group of foods that may seem small and simple, yet carry a treasure chest of nutrients for our joints and overall health: nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, all are gifts from nature, especially for those wanting to protect their joints from degeneration and chronic inflammation over time. Thomas's story and the handful of almonds every afternoon. I remember Thomas, 67, a retired mechanical engineer. Years of repetitive work had taken a toll on his hand joints. After retiring, he hoped the pain would fade, but mornings still brought swollen, stiff fingers. When discussing his diet, I suggested he add a handful of almonds or walnuts each day. He laughed at first. "Doctor, if eating a few nuts could fix this, the whole world wouldn't need medicine anymore." But just a few months later at his follow-up visit, he shared, "I'm not saying it's magic, but my hands feel less stiff, less painful. And I actually enjoy snacking on nuts instead of the sugary treats I used to eat." Science behind nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds contain plant-based omega-3s, vitamin E minerals like magnesium and zinc, and powerful antioxidants. These nutrients offer major benefits for joints. Plant-based omega-3s reduce inflammatory molecules and support flexible joints. Vitamin E protects cell membranes from free radical damage. Magnesium and zinc, essential for bone building and joint health. Plant proteins help repair tissues and strengthen muscles, supporting the joints. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found people who regularly ate nuts had lower inflammation levels and significantly reduced risks of heart disease, diabetes, and arthritis. Small but consistent. The fascinating thing is you don't need large amounts. Just a small handful, about 1 ounce, 30 grams per day, provides enough omega-3s and vitamin E to fight inflammation and protect joints. One patient, Linda, told me, "Doctor, I swapped my afternoon chips for almonds and chia seeds. At first I missed the salty snacks, but now I feel steadier energy and my knees don't ache as much." Are we eating enough nuts? Ask yourself, when was the last time we had a handful of walnuts or almonds? Do we often overlook these small foods thinking they don't matter? Many people only eat nuts during holidays or celebrations, rarely making them part of daily meals. Yet these small foods eaten consistently are what build long-term health. Simple ways to add nuts and seeds to meals? It doesn't have to be complicated. We can eat a handful of raw or lightly roasted almonds, walnuts, or cashews. Sprinkle chia or ground flax seeds on morning oatmeal or salads. Mix nuts with Greek yogurt and berries for a nutritious snack. Make unsweetened nut milk a gentle evening drink. One patient, David, shared, "Since I swapped junk food for nuts, my weight stays steady, blood sugar is better, and my knees don't crack as much." A message from these small handfuls. You see, sometimes the smallest things make the biggest difference. A handful of nuts each day might seem minor, but this habit can reduce inflammation, protect joints, and improve overall health. We can't stop aging, but we can choose how we age slowly, healthily, and with less pain. And sometimes that choice begins with a simple handful of nuts each day. In the next part, we'll talk about food, number 5, green tea, the familiar drink hiding powerful anti-inflammatory and joint protective benefits. Stay with us because this next part will reveal a simple yet effective secret for joint health in every cup of morning tea. 5th, green tea, a small cup with big benefits for your joints. My friends, we've just talked about nuts and seeds, tiny foods that carry a treasure of nutrition. Now let's move on to a familiar gentle drink that has been part of many quiet family mornings, green tea. Many of us may have drunk green tea out of habit for its fresh taste or simply to feel more awake. But few realize that green tea is one of the silent friends protecting our joints from pain and degeneration. The story of Eleanor and her morning cup of tea. I remember Eleanor, 64, a lifelong tea lover. She once told me, "Every day I start with a hot cup of green tea. Not coffee, not milk, just tea. It gives me peace." When she came to see me for knee osteoarthritis, I encouraged her to keep that habit, even adding an extra cup in the afternoon. She laughed. "Doctor, I drink it because I like it. I never thought it could be good for my joints." 6 months later, along with a healthy diet and gentle exercise, she told me, "I won't say the pain is completely gone, but my knees feel less inflamed and my spirit feels calmer." And she's right. Science has shown that green tea contains powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds, especially EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, often called the warrior that protects the joints. What science says about green tea and arthritis. Studies from the Arthritis Foundation and the National Center for Biotechnology Information reveal GCG in green tea reduces the production of inflammatory substances in the body. It helps prevent cartilage breakdown, slowing joint degeneration in older adults. Drinking green tea regularly can reduce joint stiffness and improve mobility. One study in Japan, and where green tea is consumed daily, found that people who drank 3 to 4 cups a day had a 30% lower risk of osteoarthritis compared to those who drank little or none. Not just for joints, but also for the heart and brain. The benefits of green tea go beyond the joints. Polyphenols in green tea protect the heart and lower bad cholesterol. Caffeine and L-theanine boost alertness without the jitteriness of coffee. Some studies even suggest green tea improves memory and lowers the risk of Alzheimer's, a concern for many older adults. So with just 1 cup of tea, we are caring for our joints, our heart, and our brain all at once. Are we drinking green tea the right way? Let me ask you, each morning, what do you drink first? A cup of green tea, strong coffee, or a sugary soda? If the answer isn't green tea, why not try changing this small habit for a big health benefit? Many patients are surprised when I tell them, "Doctor, I never knew something as simple as drinking tea could affect my joints and heart." Yes, health is built on simple things we repeat every day. How to drink green tea for maximum benefit. To get the most out of green tea, we can Drink 2 to 3 cups daily, but avoid brewing it too strong or drinking too much as it may cause insomnia in those sensitive to caffeine. Brew it at about 170 degree 80 to not boiling water to preserve its antioxidants. Avoid too much sugar. Drink it plain or with a slice of lemon for flavor and extra vitamin C. A patient named John once shared, "I replaced my afternoon coffee with a cup of green tea. It felt strange at first, but now I feel calmer, less jittery, and I sleep better." A moment of reflection with a cup of tea. Imagine this: a peaceful morning, sunlight streaming through the window. We sit down holding a steaming cup of green tea, taking a deep breath. In that moment, we're not just drinking tea, we're nourishing our joints, our heart, and even our soul. A small habit, a healthy old age. You see, preventing disease doesn't always require expensive or complicated methods. Sometimes it starts with a cup of tea, a bowl of salad, or a handful of nuts each day. And green tea proves that health is built on simple, consistent choices. In the next part, we'll come to the video's conclusion, where we'll reflect on the journey so far, remind ourselves about the power of small but meaningful changes, and call on everyone to build a healthy, happy old age together. Stay tuned, because the final message is something I truly want to share with all of you. My dear friends, we've taken a long journey together, from understanding what arthritis is, how to tell the different types apart, to learning natural prevention tips proven by science and real-life stories. We've explored 5 friends for our joints: fatty fish rich in omega-3, dark leafy greens, berries, nuts, and seeds, and finally green tea. Everyday foods and drinks carrying hidden powers for lasting health. Now, before we close, let's take a moment to reflect not just on the knowledge we've gained, but on a deeper perspective about health and life itself. Health, the priceless gift we often forget. Many patients have told me, "Doctor, I only realized the value of a simple step when I lost the freedom to walk without pain." When we're young, we chase careers, ambitions, big dreams, and rarely think about our knees, our hands, our spine, those silent workers keeping us moving every day. Then one morning, when knees crack, hands stiffen, and movement isn't so easy anymore, we finally realize health doesn't come by chance. It needs care every single day. Small changes, big results. In 30 years of practice, I've seen thousands of patients improve their health with simple, consistent habits. Adding a bowl of greens to lunch, drinking tea instead of sugary sodas, walking 20 minutes each morning instead of sitting for hours, cutting back on fast food, eating more fish, nuts, and whole foods. They sound simple, but repeated daily, they transform lives. One patient, Richard, 70, told me, "Doctor, I wish I had known this earlier. If I had changed my diet and exercise habits 10 years ago, maybe I wouldn't have needed knee replacement now." But Richard also proved it's never too late. Even at 70, he felt a real difference after just 6 months of lifestyle changes. Health is a shared journey. My friends, health isn't just a personal story. It's also about family, about the people we love. I once met an 80-year-old grandmother who exercised and ate well with one simple wish: I want to cook for my children and grandchildren, not lie in bed for them to take care of me. And she did, because she knew staying healthy also meant keeping her family happy. As we close this video, I have a few invitations for you. If today's message was helpful, leave a comment below. My team and I are always here to listen, answer questions, and help you find the right solutions. Share this video with friends and loved ones who care about their health and want to age with freedom and fewer illnesses. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos, where we'll continue exploring nutrition, exercise, and healthy living secrets. Because health is a lifelong journey, and I want us to walk it together. A message to carry with you: before we say goodbye, remember this: we can't turn back time, but we can make the years ahead healthier, stronger, and happier. Each cup of green tea each morning, walk each balanced meal, is a promise to your body. And when we care for it with the right choices, it responds with strength, resilience, and the joy of living well in our later years. My dear friends, thank you for staying with me until the end of today's video. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to help us build a community of people living healthy, active, and meaningful lives. And as always, leave your questions below. We're here to listen and support you. See you in the next videos with more stories, knowledge, and inspiration for a healthier, happier journey through life.